Okay, so they say all publicity is good publicity, even if it's bad publicity. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. There's been an issue with the Schedule 1 game, and there's a publisher out there that feels like they are infringing on copyright stuff. Yeah, believe it or not, Tyler, with the very successful Schedule 1 game, the single solo developer that everyone is playing right now, seems to be infringing on copyright. We're going to talk about that today because I discussed that in one of my Twitch pre-streams where we sit there and chat about things. I'll let you have a look and let me know what you think about it after you're done watching. Okay, so what's going on is very simple. Not today, about a day or two ago, there's been reports leading up to Schedule 1. Why? What's the reports? Well, it's very simple. There is a developer, there's a publisher out there that is very upset about Schedule 1. Schedule 1 is looking into a possible investigation of copyright infringements for for the plot, mechanics, and UI that is used into this game. Schedule 1 has 65,000 reviews on Steam, all mostly overwhelmingly positive. It's definitely one of the biggest hits in the simulator genre in a very, very, very long time. And it might be the biggest hit ever to exist in the simulator genre. Yeah. So, since there's a very popular, very well-created game, somebody has to stick their nose into it, no? Maybe? Possibly? I don't know. Anyways, if y'all are familiar with the game of... Hang on a sec. Hold that thought. If you're familiar with the game called Drug Dealer Simulator, Schedule 1 is taking the plot, the mechanics, and the UI from this game called Drug Dealer Simulator. Now you can see there's mostly negative reviews in the recent reviews, and that's rightfully so because there is an investigation that they are doing to sue the single developer of Schedule 1. Yeah. So we'll kind of read an article about it here in a sec too. But these are the people that are kind of very upset. Drug Dealer Simulator came out in 2020. You can see it has very positive reviews, doesn't have an overwhelmingly positive reviews. Has 18,000 reviews. At the time, it was probably one of the biggest drug dealing games out there. Now it's not. So there's that. Now with that being said, we'll go over to their sequel. And their sequel came out about last summer. It came out. And it actually did worse than the first installment of the game. People were not very happy about it. And so I guess they've just been in kind of a decline, so to speak. Now the publishers, Movie Games SA are the people that are actually, are the ones being a part of this investigation. So if we go over to this Insider Gaming Network post, the Schedule 1 is being investigated for IP copyright infringement claims. It says nothing brings momentum to a screeching halt quicker than legal action. This is the prospect Schedule 1 is facing as it's being deemed too similar to Movie Games SA Drug Dealer Simulator 1 and 2 franchise, prompting a full investigation into the game. Whereas people were hyping themselves up for Warzone's Verdansk, listen, that just came out the other day, irrelevant, or continuing to enjoy Assassin's Creed Shadows, Steam indie title Schedule 1 was out here dominating, which is true. It was. It has been. It's taken over YouTube for the past couple weeks. The game is about making a dealing in drugs and all the rigors that come with the crime life. This is apparently appealing. Schedule 1 hit a peak of over 400,000 players and continues to bring in wheelers and dealers each day. Everything was going great, but on April 3rd, the publisher Movie Game SA demanded an investigation into Tyler's Schedule 1. Steam sensation under investigation now. Evidence on the investigation surfaced on the website. Featuring a document entitled Movie Game SA Decision to Commence Investigation Against the Creator of Schedule 1 Production for claims regarding the infringement of the issuer's IP and related to committing an an act of unfair competition against it. One person made this game, and you have an entire publishing studio. You have an entire, what do you got? What do you got? You got this entire, what about us? History of the company, movie game essay, huh? Movie games, family way. You got a bunch of developers. You got a CEO. You got a founder, huh? You talk about how you are investing. You are the one game. You got a vice CEO, huh? What is this? All these people work under you? This is what, huh? What? We are the global video game issuer listed on the stock exchange, and it's unfair? What's unfair? What are we unfair about? Huh? What's unfair act here? Huh? What are we unfair about, Mr. CEO? What's unfair, Mr. Premature? Why the hell do you call yourself premature? Anyways, Movie Game SA has its own series of drug dealing games. Drug Dealing 1, Drug Dealing 2. While the name is more overt in its goal, both titles have attracted thousands of players respectively. The legal document mentions potential infringement on the issuer's intellectual property rights and activities that may bear the characteristics of unfair competition have been identified. Proceedings began as soon as Schedule 1 released on March 24th. A comparative analysis of the company's IP, which means M.IN, Drug Dealer Simulator, and Drug Dealer Simulator 2 in the Schedule 1 project. The investigation is strongly looking into elements of the game's plot, mechanics, as well as the UI. So, they are strongly looking at 3 elements here. They are strongly looking at the game's plot for being that's infringing. They are strongly looking at the game's mechanics as being strongly infringing. They are looking at the game's UI as strongly infringing. If you're going to do this, 98% of the simulators out there need to shut down right now. Get them out of here. Take them out. Everybody, what the hell are you talking about? Same mechanics, same plot, same UI? That's 98% of the genre. Am I losing my mind here? It finishes by saying the issuer will immediately inform about the further actions related to the pursuit of claims regarding the infringement of the issuer's IP and the act of unfair competition in subsequent current reports. We'll continue to monitor the situation and see how Tyler responds to the investigation. So, Tyler has not responded publicly to this. And my thought, honestly, is I think nothing will happen because this is absolute ridiculous. This is so dumb. Absolutely so dumb. This is a company that takes incredible pride. Movie Game SA. This is a company that takes incredible pride in themselves. And not in themselves, but also come work for us. Let us be a part of your life. Let us give you a job. Let us, we are the game. What did it say? We're the game listed on the stock exchange. We're great. We're good. And then one person dismantles their entire vision somehow because what Tyler did was said, hey, I like this idea of a game, except I'm going to go do it 10 times better than what they did. Whatever studio, however big this publishing team is, whoever they hired to develop the damn game of Drug Dealer 1 and Drug Dealer 2, somebody did it better. One person did it better. That's it. That's all. That's the story. There's nothing that needs to happen. There doesn't need to be a lawsuit. Nobody needs to get sued. Nobody needs to get their game taken off Steam. It doesn't need to go into any of that. I think honestly, these guys, they just shot themselves in the foot. What the hell are they thinking? They work within a genre of simulator games. Movie Games is a global video game publisher from Poland listed on the main trading floor of the Warsaw Stock Exchange. The company was founded by game fans with experience in the finance, gaming, and media industries. It combines new talents with respected industry veterans such as, I'm not even going to try to pronounce, a key developer of the Witcher series, and Tobias as one of the most famous Polish comic book and art director creators. These are the people that found this. The movie games portfolio includes adventure games, Lust for Darkness, Lust for Beyond, M Edition, simulators such as Drug Dealer Simulator 1, 2, Gas Station Simulator, Mythbusters, which was an absolute just fire dumpster garbage of a game, Mythbusters, and Alaskan Road Truckers, which also was a garbage of a game too, as well as representatives of other genres such as strategy, action. Since the beginning of movie games' existence, our main goal is to create diverse titles tailored to the needs of the global market. According to this idea, we consistently expand our internal teams to fulfill our assumptions and carry out up to 10 productions per year. Putting out 10 games a year. Maybe that's the problem. You ever think about that? Maybe you're just, spreading yourself a little too freaking thin. This really ramps me up. This gets me going, dude. I tell you, this story. Don't even get me started. We believe that games are one of the most popular means in the 21st century to reach the audience on a global scale, both with entertainment as well as art, information, or valuable history. We've seen it already. These companies, these developers are just putting up a facade, man. They are putting up a massive facade. That's what it is. Quantity over quality is what's happening. You put 10 projects out a year. You have how many developers? How big is your team? You say, come invest into my stock exchange. Invest. Come do me. Do me. And then one person named Tyler says, I'm going to kind of take some of that idea. I like the idea. I want to run with it. I want to make my own version of it. And then just absolutely schools your ass. And now you get mad and you're like, we need to look into a possible lawsuit here. It's funny. It's ridiculous. It's disgusting. It really is. If they want to go off of strong infringements, and their strong infringement is a game's plot, is the game's UI, and the game's mechanic. Come on, man. Come on. They are walking down the wrong path with the simulator genre. Come on. That tells me they have no idea what happens in the simulator genre. Supermarket Simulator blew up. TCG Card Shop Simulator blew up. Ain't nobody getting mad over them because they use very similar assets. And hey, they use very similar UI. Oh, hey, and they use very similar game mechanics. Ain't nobody making a fuss. Harvest Moon didn't. Story of Seasons, Harvest Moon. Nobody sued Stardew Valley. Nobody sued anybody that tried to emulate Stardew. You know how many comments over the past 2 years, 2 to 3 years, where I'm like, I hear the same damn echo. The comments that come in, they say, this is a Stardew Valley ripoff. This is a Stardew Valley ripoff. Listen. No. Got it. My God. You know what's a ripoff? Is the video I did the other day. The other week. Where Banker Simulator physically picked up GTA 5 assets. Picked it up and put it in their game. That's not right. They have what you would see as a 24/7 supermarket, right? Look at this. And I didn't even mention this in the last video. This 24/7 supermarket, open day and night, is literally the exact one from GTA 5. That's not right. You think when GTA Vice City came out, everybody loved that classic, and then somebody got hit with the side of, oh, can I have some San Andreas? And then San Andreas came out and it was a classic. And then, oh, by the way, let me hit you with Saints Row 1. Those movie games, SA, what the hell are they thinking, man? Somebody is doing just absolute nonsense over there. So when is the team of Supermarket Simulator gonna sue all the other creators that made a Supermarket Simulator? Exactly. It's not, that's exactly, that would never happen because they have common sense. You know, they have a very popular game. One of the best Supermarket Simulator games out there, right? And there has been many 10, 20, 30 different types of people that try to emulate that. And guess what? People try to emulate it and they put their own twist on it. And some of them are successful, most of them are not. And people keep going back to Supermarket Simulator. Why? Because they made a game that's good and people like it. That's all you gotta do. If you make a game that's good and people like it, then people will come back to it, right? And I think that's a big thing about Schedule 1. And you don't have games coming out that are these buggy, unfinished, mess, unpolished, this and that. No, that has not happened with Schedule 1. It's been such a nice refresher, and that's why I've been playing it a lot, because I've been thoroughly enjoying this simulator a lot, and it has almost no issues to it, right? And oh, by the way, Tyler tweeted out last night that he was going to drop an update on Monday. It might be delayed by a day or two, but Tyler's going to be adding a pawn shop. He's going to be adding a bunch of stuff happening here in the next couple of days to this game. And you know what he said? He said, I was going to release the update on Monday, but I decided to push it back a day or two because I was half asleep while I was developing my game. And instead, I said, maybe this isn't a good idea to push it out early because I don't want there to be any messes or any bugs or any game-breaking issues. I'll wait a day or two and then I'll put out the update. Yeah, that's great. That is how you should be developing your game. You know? Man. Don't make your game half asleep. Exactly. And I think most of these people, I think honestly, you develop your game half asleep. Tyler develops the game half asleep. It's better than most of this other junk that's coming out where people are wide awake and they are conscious and they are like, put it out because it looks good enough. Blows my mind. The only thing that I can think of is the last couple of years have been bad for movie game SA, and maybe their games have not been as well received as how they were maybe 5 years ago, and they're kind of going in a decline right now. They're going in decline, and maybe there's investors who are starting to pull out of the company year by year by year, and so they're getting desperate. And then, you know, maybe something happened this year where a lot of money was taken away from them, budget was taken away from them, investors were taken away from them, and then to kind of like put some salt in the wound, this guy makes a game called Schedule 1, and then that just kind of blew the top off. They're like, oh, you know, it's time to go. It could be that kind of situation, right? But the CEO and the founder that calls himself the premature, I can't take you serious, sir. The man calls himself the premature. I think you prematured all over this situation, sir. What the hell happened? Like, I would have totally understand. Look, listen, if there was like some sort of like, if there was some sort of unique, you know, assets, if it was like deliberately ripped off from Drug Dealer Simulator 1 and 2, listen, I would have understood. But you can't tell me a game's plot, and you can't tell me a game's UI and a game's mechanic is infringement on copyright. That's a bunch of BS. Any game that uses a register, they have to give me money. Because that's what I do, and you shouldn't do that either. Or if you do it, you have to pay me. I actually never played Drug Dealer Simulator 1. I take that back. I think I played maybe 45 minutes or an hour of the first game. And I stopped playing it because at that time when I played it, YouTube was very, very, very strict on monetization, on appropriateness. Back in 2020 or 2021, I forgot what year it was. but they were like super strict on policy. Over the years, they've definitely have loosened up on it, but I had to stop because everything was age restricted and everything was like not fit for YouTube and all that. But the 45 to an hour that I played, it was decent. I never played the second one. But you know, I don't know if you can mix stuff and make incredible. That's the thing. This game, Schedule 1, you mix stuff, you make these wacky, fun, whatever kind of strands of stuff, and then you give it to customers, and something happens to them, right? It's like an, you know, that's the brilliance of the game, I think, too, right? Every store simulator is very similar in some kind of way. It is, right? You know, imagine Supermarket Simulator saying, okay, we have a register and we put stuff on shelves and we have a credit card machine, right? So any other simulator that comes out and does those mechanics is not allowed to do those mechanics because that's a copyright infringement. First of all, they don't own that mechanic, all right? They don't universally own that mechanic. So like for Schedule 1, or not Schedule 1, for like Movie Game SA to be like, this is against this is unfair. How did they say? They said unfair practices? Forgot what they said. They are committing an act of unfair competition. An act of unfair competition. That's what Schedule 1 is doing. It's a head scratch right there. Schedule 1, like, you know, kind of going to like the realism thing, right? With like, talk about The Sims and Inzoi and whatnot, right? People like The Sims because it's not that realistic, you know, and Inzoi is realistic. And then you look at Schedule 1 where it's like, hey, it's not that realistic. The Drug Dealer Simulator is kind of realistic looking. This one is not so realistic. You think if I give you some weed, you're going to grow a long neck, or you're going to get zapped to hell, or you're going to become a redhead, you know, or a ginger, right? That's the funny, quirky thing about the game that I think people adore too, right? Anyways, that's pretty much all that we have to say about that. Honestly, I think this thing is just gonna give it brush under the, put it under the rug, you know, put it under, like, let's just all just forget this ever happened, right? And I think Movie Games SA should just move on and forget this ever happened, because this is just insane, man. Anyways, let me know what your thoughts down below. I would love to hear what your thoughts are on this situation, so comment down below and I'll be reading indeed. Take care.